Hello, this is Cheryl Pullins from iCoachWomen.com, and I want to share this presentation with you. I did it, and we didn't have the right functionality as our part of our Hangout, so I wanted to do it with the slides so you really could walk through and get the feel for this 2020 plan that I'm sharing. So my name is Cheryl Pullins from iCoachWomen.com, and I am a Gap Tooth girl from South Philadelphia. I love fancy stuff, shiny things, and my mission really is about helping women to live the life they desire no matter what happens. No matter what happens to them in life, that they can adjust, adapt, and overcome so they can still live the life that they dream about. I always say that I have an intervention-worthy obsession with movies, and I watch a lot of movies, but movies really feed my creativity. They feed my ability to write, actually. So I really have a penchant for them. But tonight, or well, I guess it's not night, it's whenever you're watching this video, I want you to walk through this 2020 plan. There is an action guide that goes along with it, and we're going to take it from there, okay? All right, so think about 5 years ago. Where were you? What were you doing? What were you hoping for, dreaming of? What were you desiring 5 years ago? That would put you, if you're watching this in 2015, then that would put you in 2010. So where were you? What were you doing? What were your dreams? What were your aspirations, your desires? Where did you want to go? Who did you want to be? What did you want to see? What did you want to experience? But then the other part of this question is, are you there yet? You're 5 years in, if you will. Are you there yet? And that, I believe, is the big question. 5 years ago, did you have a plan? Were you ready to rock and roll, if you will, to live the life that you desire? But then now we're going to look at 5 years from today. Who will you be? What will you be doing? Where will you be going? But the bigger question here is, how are you going to get there? So 5 years from today, fast forward. So we're in 2015, and this is where the concept of the 2020 plan came in, because 5 years from today would put you in 2020. And I know that sounds all futuristic and all sci-fi-ish. Actually, sci-fi is one of my favorite types of genres of movies. But 5 years from today, where do you desire to be, and do you have a plan to get there? So I want to share with you what can happen in 5 years. And I was reading a book, and I saw this in there, and I was fascinated by what these folks were able to accomplish in 5 years. So let's talk about what can happen in 5 years. In under 5 years, just under 5 years, Michelangelo painted the Sistine Chapel. Michelangelo painted the Sistine Chapel in less than 5 years. And some of us can't even write a book in 5 years. We can't launch a program. We can't start a business. And there he was, day after day, I'm guessing, because the intricacy of the work, he was there mixing color and painting and using his vivid imagination to paint the Sistine Chapel. Okay? Less than 5 years. In less than 5 years, Shakespeare wrote Hamlet, Othello, King Lear, Macbeth, and 5 other immortal plays. And I'm about to say it, and we can't write a book. Or we can't do the one thing that could potentially shift and catapult our lives to exactly where we want to be. Okay? And I love that it's it's the creativity. 5 years. They took their creativity and left a mark on the world, left a legacy using their creativity. Now, this one really got me. 1961, Julia Child graduated from cooking school. She had this, what they called a quirky idea for a TV show. Quirky TV show. Cooking TV show was considered quirky. 4 years later, she won an Emmy for her show. 4 years later. So she graduates in 1961 from cooking school. She approaches someone somewhere with this quirky idea of having a television show, a cooking show, and then she winds up winning an Emmy for it. I think, to me, that one right there, that is so, so, so inspiring. Fired from their home improvement jobs, Arthur Blank, Bernie Marcus. They were fired from their home improvement jobs. They didn't go home and sulk about it. What they did was they created a business model called Home Depot. Home Depot. They went public with the idea. 3 years after they lost their jobs, their home improvement jobs, 3 years later, the annual sales for Home Depot was $1 billion. Now, we're talking less than 5 years here, okay? Then I have one more for you. At the age of 30, this gentleman, Jeff Bezos, he was living in a 300-square-foot apartment, and 5 years later, his net worth was $10 billion. Now, if you know who he is, you can see how that happens. Jeff Bezos is the founder of Amazon.com. Less than 5 years. That happened in less than 5 years. 5 years later, his net worth, $10 billion. But this is what I find, that we encounter when we go to step out and create our goals and live our dreams and live out our desires. We meet what I call some mind chatter. We meet some things that really hold us down, that we don't move forward in. And the first thing is that we lack clarity. We lack clarity about what it is that we desire. We lack clarity about who we are. We lack clarity about how to go about moving forward and getting what it is that we desire. The second thing is a lack of consistency. We're inconsistent. We show up one day, we don't show up for 3 months, or we show up 3 months and then don't show up for 6. We start working on one thing, and in the middle of working on that, we start working on something else. That's what I call SOS, shiny object syndrome. Shiny object syndrome. You see a shiny object, you chase down that one, and then while you're working on that one, you see another one, you start chasing down that one, and then while you're working on that one, you see another one, you start chasing down that one. Before you know it, you got 10 projects on your desk, all have the potential to shift and change your life if you would but be consistent, have some clarity, and the last one is a plan of implementation. You need a plan to implement. A plan to implement. Those folks that I talked about in particular, people like Julia Child and the 2 men from Home Depot, they had to have a plan. You can't just generate $1 billion in sales in less than 3 years and not have a plan. That just doesn't fall out the sky. So the 3 common things that hold us back lack of clarity, inconsistency, and no plan for implementation. So, what I want to do now, I want to introduce you to something that I've been working on that really is a part of how I've been able to accomplish the things I've accomplished. So you're thinking, okay, Cheryl, either I don't even know you, or I saw you on Facebook, or I ran across this, or whatever, however you found me, I really don't know that much about you. Well, let me tell you just a little bit in terms of what I've been able to accomplish. I started my business in 2010 as a coach, pretty clueless about what it was I was supposed to do in terms of marketing and all those kinds of things. So it was that year, it was almost like that year didn't even count because I did nothing. But in 2011, I went to a 3-day business boot camp, and I was basically flabbergasted by what I heard from the stage about the things that I should be doing in terms of building and growing my business and all of those things. So I got to work. I entrenched myself in learning what I needed to do, and I did it. Not always perfectly, not always flawlessly, but, some of which was trial and error, and some of which is still trial and error, but I was still finding my way. I was still moving forward, and the key was that I never quit. So in that period of time, say from 2011, or let's use 2010, because I still had the idea of having this business of coaching people in 2010. But we fast forward, by the time 2014 rolled around, I had some serious accomplishments that I had made. I'm an award-winning speaker multiple times. I've been named to the Black Businesswomen Online. I've been named to their 50 top women list twice, 2 years in a row. I've been named to 100 influential African Americans on the digital space by a media company based in London. And most recently, I was able to stand on the red circle and do a TED Talk. I spoke at a historical TEDx event that had never been held before, behind the walls of a prison for women. That was the first time they did it. I was invited. I did not seek it out. I did not ask for it. I was invited to be a speaker at that event, and I was the only speaker of the 5 speakers that was outside of the prison system. But that was because I showed up at another event. I spoke. We had a blast. I showed up in my power. I showed up in my truth, and it left such an impact. It produced that invitation. But what I know is there's certain things I had to do to get there. Now, mind you, the time that I was invited to do this TED Talk, I was right in the middle of separating from my husband and moving to Florida. Right in the middle of it. From the time I spoke at the one event to the time I got the invitation for TEDx to speaking at the TEDx event, I was right in the middle of going through that painful thing in my life. But I knew I still had to show up. I still had to show up. So I had to sit down and go, how have I been able to get from there to here? How have I been able to get from there, where I wanted to be, to here? And I went through the different things, and this is the result of it, my 5-star lifestyle blueprint. And I'm just going to go through that, and then we're going to keep moving. I'm going to go through it at a really high level. So my 5-star lifestyle blueprint covers desire, dreams, define your future, design, and do. Desire is just that. It really is about feeling. And the beautiful thing about this blueprint is it really is kind of based loosely off of the 5 senses, so to speak. So it's an easy way to remember it, because desire is about feeling. Our senses: touch, taste, smell, those kinds of things. So desire is about feeling. Dreams is about thinking, what you think. We think about our dreams. Our dreams come from our mind. Desire comes from how we want to feel. Define your future comes from verbalization. Talking about visualization. Define your future is visualization. It's visualizing what your future is going to look like. Design is the verbalization, talking about what it is you're going to the next one do. Desire is how you feel. Dreams, what you think. Define is what you see, what you visualize. Design is what you say. Doing what you said when you said, and the do is just that, doing. And that's pretty much the 5-Star Lifestyle Blueprint, and that's the methodology, the process really, that I use to get into the doing part. We spend a lot of time in the dreaming, in the thinking. So here's what we do. We skip over the feeling. We really do. We spend a lot of time in dreaming, and we spend a lot of time in defining, planning mode. We're planning. We're getting ready to get ready. And that's where we kind of we taper off a little bit. So and we don't get into the do. So what we're going to do, we're going to get into the do. We're going to get into the do, and we're going to talk about the 2020 plan. Because the 2020 plan comes out of this section of the 5-Star Lifestyle Blueprint, which is do. So here we have it, the 2020 plan, your 4-step, 5-year desires and dreams planning for the modern woman. Yay! Step 1, define a purposeful vision. Define a purposeful vision. This is really about defining the vision for your life. 5 years from now, where do you want to be? What do you want to be doing? Who do you want to become? You can define that. And I'm going to share with you how you can define that a little later. Define a purposeful vision. Step number 2, create your 5-year vision. Be really specific. So let me back up a minute. Back here I said define a purposeful vision. That really is your overall vision for your life. That's overall. What do you want your life to look like overall? Step 2, create your 5-year vision. So you're going to look at your overall life and you're going to go, okay, in 5 years, where do I want to be? What do I want to be doing? Who do I want to become? Okay, so we got step 1, define a purposeful vision. Step 2, create a 5-year vision. And the define a purposeful vision really is about your purpose and how you show up in the world as well. It's not just how you live personally, but how you bring healing to the world with your gifts, your talents, and your abilities. Now, if you remember, I said that I was going to share with you how we can start really working on your plan. And this is not just a 5-year plan, but this is an overall plan. Well, I have something that I think is going to be amazing, and it's called Create Your 5-Star Lifestyle. It's a group immersion experience, 8 women over 4 weeks. 8 women over 4 weeks, that's it. This is not a 6-month or a 90 days or 1 year. No, I don't want you to hide in a program. I want you to get into action, get into implementation so you can start living the life that you desire. Sometimes people hide in programs and they use it as an excuse not to implement, but that's not what we're going to do, because the mission here is to define your future. So here it is, Create Your 5-Star Lifestyle Group Immersion Experience. This one starts February the 10th, 8 women, 4 weeks, 4 group coaching calls, a private Facebook group, and you get 1 private 30-minute coaching call with me on top of that. This program is valued at $597, and I'm probably being quite conservative in terms of the real true value of this program. But I don't want to bloat numbers. I just want you to see, okay, this is the value. And who is this program for? It's for the modern, ambitious woman who has big dreams for her life. She wants clarity. She desires freedom. She dreams about traveling the world and experiencing life. She wants to do life on her own terms. She wants to wake up each morning feeling refreshed and vibrant. She wants to go to bed at night feeling fulfilled and satisfied. She wants to use her gifts to make a difference in the world. But what? She needs a plan. She needs a plan. So what are you going to receive as a part of this group immersion experience? You're going to receive one weekly group coaching call over 4 weeks, one call each week. You're going to get one 30-minute private laser coaching session with me. You'll have direct email access to me for 4 weeks. That's emailing me directly, me responding directly. Private Facebook group. All the sessions will be recorded. You will receive each recording. Live sessions, we'll be doing those via the telephone. And again, the sessions begin on Tuesday, February the 10th at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. There's your investment. No whole lot of rah-rah about it. One-time payment of $197, 4 weekly payments of $59. Baby, you don't get better than this, I promise you. Not for what you're going to do. And here are some of the things you're going to walk away with. You're going to walk away with a vision statement document. Remember we talked about creating that purposeful vision? That's what your vision statement document is going to be. It's going to be you literally writing out what you want your life to look like. What you want your life to look like, because it's going to be a document that you use to fuel yourself. Okay? Very powerful. I've done this work, and it's amazing what it can do for you. That's one of the things. You're going to also walk away with a desires and dreams goal plan. You're going to get a planner, and you're going to map out your goal plan. How you're going to get where you want to be, because you need to have that. Okay? And then you're going to be in a community of like-minded women who are going in the same direction. The beauty of this is that it's small. As you can see, there are only 8 spots available for this group. When I did this presentation, when I shared this, there were 7 spots remaining. Actually, as of right now, what's today? Today is January the 28th. There are 4 spots remaining and a couple people expressing interest. So I recommend that you click on that link right there, right now, and get your spot, because once it is gone, it'll be, this session will be closed out. So if you don't need to hear any more or see anything else, of course I want you to watch the rest, because I have a couple other things I want to share with you. Just keep watching, but make sure you click on over and get to reserve your space. When I did this during our soiree last night, and I put the link in the chat, spots went just like that. Boom, boom, boom. 3 spots just like that. And okay, so I've yummied up the pot. I've put some fast action bonuses in here. And it says that you will get an additional 30-minute coaching session with me, private. You will get another 30-minute private coaching session for health and wellness with one of my hand-selected coaches. You're going to get another 30-minute private coaching session for financial mastery with another one of my hand-selected coaches. And when we add all this together, the program value is $997, and still your investment doesn't change. It's $197, or you can pay $59 a week for 4 weeks. Okay? Like I said, it doesn't get better than that. These bonuses, this slide says that the bonus expires 11:59 p.m. on January 28th. Okay, so unless it's sold out prior to that, I'm a little late getting this video out, this training out. So make sure you read the email to see what I have done to accommodate you there. Okay. Again, where do you sign up? You sign up at the link that's there on the screen. You know, you might have to write it down, or I think it might, I can't remember, I think it might be in the end of your action guide as well. Either way, you know, you can get there. All right, so let's keep going. Let's keep going with our 2020 plan. So now we're up to step 3. Step number 3 is about designing Fabi goals. And, you know, Fabi is my word that I created, and I love a part of what I do with branding is I coach my clients to create their own brand lexicon, words that are very, very unique to your brand, that when people hear it, they immediately associate it with you. And I have a number of words that people immediately associate with me, and Fabi is one of them. I'm telling you, you hear Fabi, you're going to know that's Cheryl. But when it comes to goals, Fabi means something. It means focused, actionable, bold, brave, and inspiring. What kind of goals do you want? Focused, action, bold, brave, and inspiring. Now, in your action guide, I also make reference to SMART goals. Okay, because that's the standard. SMART goals are the standard. They're specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time sensitive. Okay, so that's what SMART stands for. But step 3 is part of you creating your 2020 plan is you want to design these Fabi goals that they're focused goals, they're actionable, they're bold, brave, and they're inspiring because they inspire. You want goals that are going to inspire you, right? And you want to write them in words, in phrases that inspire you, okay? But this is the kind of stuff that we're going to talk about and go through, and you're going to actually do in the FiveStar Lifestyle program, group immersion experience. Step number 4 of your 2020 plan is take fanatical action. And I love this step right here. And I chose the word fanatical action because everybody talks about taking action. And that's wonderful. You can take any kind of action, but I want you to take fanatical action. And fanatical action is the action you take that's outside of your comfort zone. Fanatical action is the action you take that everybody thinks you're crazy. But it's the fanatical action that's going to quantum leap you into the life that you desire and the life that you dream about. I'm sure people thought that Oprah Winfrey was really crazy when she said that she was going to leave her very successful television daytime show to create a network with hours and hours and hours and hours of programming, 24 hours a day. And if you followed it when the OWN network first started, it was fledgling very quickly. So, Oprah got herself together, and she closed down her 25-year show, and she hopped over to OWN network. But here's what she did. She realized she could not do this by herself. So she brought along cohorts and cheerleaders and collaboration partners and turned that thing around. She got real smart. And that's what the FiveStar Lifestyle Group Immersion Experience is about. It's about coming together with cohorts, cheerleaders, and collaborators to help one another, support one another, bring your dreams to life. And that's part of why I created this. So you got to take that fanatical action. You got to do the stuff that gets you out of your comfort zone. I can share with you one of the things that I'm doing right now. I'm shifting my business around. I'm creating my personal brand as a multifaceted personal lifestyle brand. I'm taking the branding portion of my company and I'm putting it under a brand new entity where I'll be actually the lead brand strategy person and partner, lead brand strategist and partner, and we're going to be working with clients across all industries, and we're going to help these clients take what they have as personal brands and turn them into personal lifestyle brands. And I am really thrilled about that. This is outside of my comfort zone. It's outside of my comfort zone. This is my fanatical action move right here. So I'll be doing some of this work even with you. Okay? So let's recap the 2020 plan. It's your 4-step, 5-year desires and dreams planning for the modern woman. It comes directly out of my 5-star lifestyle blueprint. Okay? And it's defined in the do part, which is the very end part. We do a whole lot of other stuff before we get to do. Okay, we deal with you and your desires, your dreams, we define your future, we design your goal plan, and then, when you get to the end of the 4 weeks, you're ready to roll out and go do what you need to do so you can get results, you can start living the life you desire. So in the 2020 plan, step 1 is define a purposeful vision, create your 5-year vision, design Fabi goals, and then take fanatical action. Again, a recap on the 5-star lifestyle group immersion experience with myself, Cheryl Pullins, that starts February the 10th, 2015, 8 women, 4 weeks, 4 group coaching calls, private Facebook group, 1 private 30-minute coaching call with me. There's the link there at the bottom of the screen that you can go to and reserve your spot. Remember, I said there are only 4 spots remaining as of January the 28th, around 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern. As soon as the last 4 spots are gone, registration will be shut down, and then you will go on, in a waiting interest list or something like that. And that, my fabulous people, fabulous ladies, fabulous woman, is the end. And we close with a pop, biz, clink, cheers to life, that you live the life you desire, the life of your dreams, and I am dedicated, I am committed, and I am destined and here to make it happen for you. Again, make sure you go over to the website that's posted. You can scroll back on the video if you need to. You can also check the email that's associated with this video. You can check any links that might be at the bottom of this video, depending on where you're viewing this training. All the information is there, and I look forward to welcoming you to my 5-star lifestyle group immersion experience. This has been Cheryl Pullins from iCoachWomen.com. Bye.